Hi everyone! From the previous video, you have learned about mental health and well-being, where you have also discussed the 5 steps to improve mental health. So what are those? Alright, so number 1 is we have connect, followed by be active, then keep learning, give to others, and take notice. Okay? So as you improve your mental health, it is very important to connect to people, not just connect to Wi-Fi connection. They said that disconnect to internet, to the usage or too much usage of gadgets to connect to people. Then be active, exercise, be physically fit, make sure that you are healthy, and then keep learning, of course. If you think you don't have anything to do anymore, so focus your mind if you wanted to learn something, and then give to others. It is not there's nothing wrong to give a simple smile to even to a stranger or to an individual who badly needed it. Next last is we have take notice. So we need to be aware to our surroundings. So for today's video lecture, we will be proceeding to our next lesson, which is about emotional intelligence. So in emotional intelligence, not everyone who has a high intelligence quotient, or what we call IQ, has an emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? So, emotional intelligence, according to Daniel Goleman, is the ability to motivate oneself and persist in the face of frustrations, control impulse and delay gratification, regulate one's moods, and distress from swamping the ability to think, to emphasize, and to hope. So, if you can identify the emotions or feelings that you are having right now, therefore, you have what we call emotional intelligence. Because not everyone can identify specifically whatever they are feeling in a certain situation. Okay? So, most of the time, an individual who do not have emotional intelligence tend to, let's say, they cannot identify exactly if what is the feeling that they are having right now. So, according to Peter Salovey's, we have 5 domains of emotional intelligence. So, this is Peter Salovey's. So, the first domain is what we call knowing one's emotions or self-awareness. So, if you have emotional intelligence, therefore, it says here that self-awareness bring with it the skill for self-reflection. So if you have emotional intelligence, you can exactly identify your feeling today. For example, you know if you are angry, you know if you are disappointed, if you're upset. At the same time, you know if you're happy, you know if whenever you are sad. So it means that you are aware with your emotions. So that is the first domain according to Peter Salovey, which is knowing one's emotions or self-awareness. Because if you're aware to yourself, then the moment you have identified the feeling that you have right now, for example, you are mad or you are angry, right after that, you can assess the situation if what makes you sad, what makes you angry, what makes you mad, and then right after that, you can do something about it. Second is we have what we call managing emotions. So, according to Peter Salovey, it is important to recognize emotions. He said that we do not have control to the emotions that we are feeling, but we have control on how long or the duration of the emotions that we can feel. For example, you are mad today, so you cannot control the feeling that you are experiencing right now, but you have control whether how long you'd like to have that feeling. Would you like your day to be ruined just because you are mad? Would you like to be angry for, let's say, 1 year? You can control the length of the emotions that you will have, but you cannot control the emotions itself. Okay? So there's a difference. You cannot control the emotion, but you can control if how long you were just about to feel that emotion. So the third one is, the third domain is motivating oneself. If you can motivate yourself, therefore, you have emotional intelligence. So it says here that optimism is a great motivator. Yes, there are some individuals wherein, even if people do not motivate them, they can motivate themselves. It seems like they do not need the affirmation of other people. What important is the way how they think. So even if they have problems, they still think positively, and that is the most important thing. So through optimism or thinking positively, you can do great things. Like, kaya ko yan, okay lang yan, I can do this. So as you motivate yourself, there are higher chances that you can perform better, do better. So the fourth one is recognizing emotion in others. So of course, just like in the first domain, it is not just your emotions that you can recognize or identify. If you can identify or recognize emotions of other people, therefore, you have emotional intelligence. So it says here that the capacity to recognize the emotions in other people is called empathy. So empathy and sympathy is different from one another. So when we say sympathy, it's like you care about whatever they are feeling. Awa ka, naawa ka. For example, you have a friend who has a problem, and then your friend is very sad. And then if you will apply sympathy, therefore, you'll just tell to your friend, oh, that's sad. That's it. It ends there. You just care about he or she's feeling right now. But if you have empathy, aside from feeling sad, you'll do something about it. So, hindi ka lang naawa, but at the same time, you are imagining yourself in her situation or in his situation. For example, your friend has a problem, right? And then, if you will apply empathy, therefore, you will not just say, oh, I feel sad or naawa ako sa'yo. You will also say that, I know the feeling because I've been there. Or, you can say that, even if I do not experience the same situation exactly, but seeing you or watching you having a hard time, I feel the same way. So that is empathy. Okay? So aside from sharing the same feeling, since your friend has a problem, you will also do something to support them. So hindi ka lang maawa. You will also help them whatever way or whichever way you think you can help them. Hindi lang basta, kawawa ka naman, may masaba lang, no? It's not just about that. You will do something about it. Kawawa ka naman. O sige, I know the situation, I know the feeling. How can I help you? I am very willing to listen. So that is empathy. So the fifth one is what we call handling relationships. So one domain of emotional intelligence, according to Peter Saloveyes, is our ability to handle relationship. So it says here that the way how we manage our relationship with others. So it doesn't matter if what kind of relationship we are referring to. So it can be a relationship to your family, relationship to your friend, relationship to your special someone. It doesn't matter. As long as you have emotional intelligence, therefore you can handle relationship in a better way. So, because since you have emotional intelligence wherein you can also recognize the feeling of others, through this, you will know whether, let's say, your relative or your family member is sad or your friend is sad. You will be more sensitive to whatever they are feeling because you have the emotional intelligence. Now, the difference between intelligent quotient or IQ to emotional quotient or EQ, also known as emotional intelligence, is just like what I said earlier, not everyone who has a high IQ have what we call emotional intelligence. So, hindi lahat ng matatalino na sobra or mataas yung IQ is marunong makisama and knows how to evaluate the feeling of other people. Okay? So, do not feel bad if you think you don't have high IQ. As long as you can listen to your friend's problem, you can give advice, you know whatever you are feeling right now, then therefore, kahit wala kang IQ or kahit hindi mataas yung IQ mo, it means that you have emotional intelligence. Matalino ka pa rin. So, I believe na wala namang taong bobo or what. So, you're still intelligent. You have the emotional intelligence. So, in emotional intelligence, according to this, we have 8 main families of emotions. So, number 1 is anger, sadness, fear, enjoyment, love, surprise, disgust, and shame. Now, again, I would just like to repeat it. Once, if you think you can identify the exact feeling that you are having right now, therefore, you are emotional intelligent person. Because, again, not everyone can identify their feeling easily. Yung iba, nalilito, hindi nila alam yung nararamdaman nila. But if you know to yourself whenever you are mad, what gets you mad, what makes you sad, therefore, you are emotional intelligent person. So, these are the 8 main families of emotions. Anger, of course, if you're furious, if you're mad. Sadness, if there are situations that happen to you that you think it have broken your heart, therefore you are sad, you feel upset. Fear is whenever you're scared, whenever you feel uneasy because of something you don't know, so that is fear. Enjoyment, you're having fun. Love, of course, very easy, right? Surprise is the thrill or the excitement about something. Disgust is whenever you feel off about something. Then shame is, for example, you were asked to do something that you don't want to do, then you feel shame about it. So, aside from shame, there comes shy, so you don't have much self-confidence. So again, this is our 8 main families of emotions. So now, there is a benefit of having high emotional intelligence. So the benefit is, it is often believed that emotional intelligence is more important in achieving success in one's career or personal life than IQ. Because in emotional intelligence, you are not just referring to yourself or the feelings that you're having within yourself. When we say emotional intelligence, it affects everyone or the people around you. So you will know how to interact to the people better compare if you will just focus to IQ, wherein you just know the standard knowledge. And through emotional intelligence, you can also assess or evaluate the feeling of other people, and then at the same time, you can give solution to problems, you can give advices because you have emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is very important to us. Emotional intelligence affects, number 1 is physical and mental health, of course. If you have, let's say, if you're an optimistic person or you think positively, therefore, which is under emotional intelligence, therefore, your mental health and physical health will be affected. Through what? Of course, just like what we had in our previous lesson, in mental health, it is very important for us to think positively, right? Because if we will let negative things to dwell on us, therefore, we will just be sad throughout. We will just be disappointed in our life. I mean, life is full of problems. Problems or experiencing or having problems will just show that you are alive. Okay? So, emotional intelligence affects physical and mental health because if you don't know how to interact with other people, therefore, there's a possibility that you will be left alone, right? But according to the saying, no man is an island. And we need emotional intelligence for that. Next is work performance. Of course, emotional intelligence in work performance is you will be able to, let's say, follow the instructions of your employer or of your boss easily because you know what to do. And then at the same time, you can communicate to them openly. So you can just, if you think you are sad, you can tell them, sir, I am sad. I am not that happy anymore in this work. So you can openly talk to them. At the same time, emotional intelligence in a way that you will be more sensitive to your customer satisfaction. For example, if you will work in a fast food restaurant where there are some complaints, right? So you will put yourself into the situation of your customer, and then you will, it's either sympathize or empathize to the situation that they had experienced in the fast food that you are working with or you are working at. And lastly is relationships. Of course, it is very important. The emotional intelligence is very important to relationships because through emotional intelligence, you will be able to tell, or not exactly to tell, but at least you will have a clue to the feeling that they are having in that relationship. For example, you and your special someone, you think that there is something wrong. If you have emotional intelligence within you, so you can tell that there's something wrong. This is not the way how it used to be when you were starting. So, through emotional intelligence, you will be more sensitive to the feelings of individual around you. So again, emotional intelligence affects 3 things. So, physical and mental health, work performance, and relationships. Now, there are ways on how to develop one's emotional intelligence. So, number 1 is honest and open to oneself. Of course, for you to identify the feeling that you're having right now or the emotions that you're having is you need to be open and you need to be honest about yourself. Second is accepting one's capacity for different types of emotion. So, you should not expect that whatever you are feeling right now, other people will have the same feeling too in the same situation. No, that is not the case because everyone is different. We have what we call individual differences. So not because you got sad in a certain situation, it means that people will be sad too whenever they have that situation because everybody is different. So you need to accept that we have differences. Okay? And then at the same time, you need to respect and acknowledge their emotions and feelings. Third one is knowing how to handle emotions positively. Thinking positively plays a very important role in our life. Lalo na kapag ka masyadong mahirap yung pinagdadaanan. So, our anchor or our foundation will be the way how we think. So, if marami ka ng problema and then you'll think negatively, then therefore, everything that will happen, for sure, you will deal with it negatively. So, you need to change your mindset. So, think and handle your emotions positively. Like, everything will be alright, everything will be fine. Kaya yan. And then, fourth one is being empathic and sensitive to other people's emotions. So, again, if you want to develop your emotional intelligence, then therefore, you need to start observing the people around you. So, little by little, you will be able to handle emotional intelligence. At the same time, of course, it will be developed if you will just be aware with your surroundings and don't rush things because everyone has an emotional intelligence. Lahat yan meron tayo. The difference is kung gaano ba kalawak or kung gaano ba kataas, kung gaano ba kalaki yung emotional intelligence natin. So, don't be sad. Mamula naman po ako nun. No, everybody has it, okay? Everyone has it. So, you just need to develop it little by little. So, we have here 4 ways on how to develop emotional intelligence. At the same time, if you will be able to develop emotional intelligence, these are the things that you will be able to do. Okay? So, if you wanted to develop your emotional intelligence, these 4 things, you should do it. You should try it or you should practice it. And this is where our lesson ends. So that is for chapter 8, emotional intelligence. So, always remember that understanding everybody or making people or pleasing people, pleasing everyone is not possible. You cannot please everybody, but you can understand them, okay? But you should not force yourself into someone if you think that they do not like you. Because through emotional intelligence, you can feel it if somebody dislike you. So, if you think that they don't like you, then just respect the way how they see you as a person. Just let them be. Okay lang yun. Kung ayaw nila sa'yo, wag. So, the important thing is, marunong kang makisama, and that is because of emotional intelligence. As long as you're not doing anything bad to them, it's okay. You're doing good. So, hayaan mo na sila lang yung negative mag-isip. Basta ikaw, you're just thinking positively. You're just focusing to yourself, developing yourself to be a better version of yourself. You were helping yourself to be a better person. Then, that is the most important thing. So, see you next video lecture. Hope you had learned something.